Hey everybody, Kenny Conklin from Scifiantasy. Welcome back to another day of working on the Vor'cha class battlecruiser. So, as you see in the last video, we're working on the head of the ship, and we're going to continue working on that today. We're going to try to get it all, I didn't get a chance the other day to finish it up, try to get it all lit up and sealed up, get the bondo in the places we need to get it, this way it's all sealed up, and figure out how we are going to get that little top piece on there. So let's get over to the bench. I have an idea of what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to need 2 lights on in that little piece. So I'm going to get out. I need to order more LEDs and all different kinds too. Yeah, look at that one. That one's pretty bent. I don't want that one right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten this one out. And let's see if we can get that into focus. Okay. Now if you've never done it before, I'm sure a lot of you have. If you never sanded it down, I don't think I'm going to be able to get there. That's pretty much in focus. If you can see in there, well, when you look at your own LED, there's a little filament in there. You don't want to go all the way down to that, because once you hit it, it's dead. You bring it down as far as you need be, and then we'll show you what we're going to do with that. You can also drill out the tips of them all the way down and put your fiber optic right in there and then seal it off. But for this case, I want to shorten them up to fit 2 in inside the little mast, or whatever you want to call it. So all I do, sorry if this is a little loud, all I do is take my Dremel tool and I start sanding it down to where I need it to be. Get it nice and flat. If you can see, I hate this camera. There we go. It's flat, and I didn't touch the filament, and it's pretty far down there. And you'll notice the top is all messed up. And there's a few suggestions out there to use super glue. Put super glue on there and clear it up. It will clear it. I've done that before, not on LEDs, but making my own cases. I know it does clear up the scratch marks in there, but I prefer on the LEDs to sand them out. And I sand them out because when you sand it, I've got some weird accent going on there. It'll take out all the scratches. The glue does fill in the scratches, but this is my preferred method of doing it. So all I do is I start with the coarse. I mean, it's already scratched up, but scratch it up a little bit more. And it doesn't take that long. Go with the coarse, and then the medium. Start getting the white off of there. You know, I got to stay in focus over here because I'm looking down and not at the whatchamacallit, the camera itself. And then you go to your fine. And you'll see it's starting to, it takes out all the imperfections, and it'll be smooth as the LED you started with. And then over to the ultra fine. And if you can see, now you can see the little filament in there. But we're not done. There's 2 more pads on here, 2 buffing pads. Buff it out. Boom, that's one. And then even the softer pad Get a good grip on this guy. I mean, if you got a ton of these to do, you might want to go with the super glue method, but it's totally up to you which method you want to use. Like I said, I prefer this method. And there you go, one crystal clear LED again. And it only took us about a minute to do that. It doesn't take long at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down, the posts down, get them soldered up, and then we're going to start fitting them into this. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, let's get to soldering these things together. If you haven't watched the other videos of mine, I suggest getting these wire strippers if you don't use magnet wire. I have magnet wire, but I'm not using it yet because I have a ton of other wire I want to use up before I use that. These just strip and boom, go. So I know everybody yells at me for my wire, but it's free, and free was for me, so I use it. And this stuff is simple. You just throw your wire in there, boom, and it's off. No messing with little holes or anything like that. And then just pull the plastics off. You can tighten or loosen the adjustment on there. This way you can the plastic will either just come off or sit on there like that. Okay, now we'll get to soldering these guys up, and I'll tell you now, my soldering technique stinks, but it works. Now the first thing I do is I put my shrink tubing, well, first thing I did was cut those off, but next thing I do is put my shrink tubing on, because if I forget that, which I do very often, I end up having to unsolder things and put it back on. My soldering iron is heating up and it's pre-tinned. I put flux on this guy and this guy. That's way too much, but oh well, as long as I get a good solder on there. Please don't yell at me. I know I do it horrible, but it works and everything stays together. When you cut your LEDs, I know you heard this a million times, but make sure you cut them so your one post is longer than the other post. This way you don't mess them up, because if you cut even and then you solder it, you're gonna be like, why the hell isn't that lighting up? And that's pretty much as far as I can get zoomed in. I don't twist them or anything like that. Keep them side by side. I don't have enough solder on there. But what I did, it was tinned, just not tinned enough. There we go. One nice bead on there. Shaky McShake me. Hold that there for me, please. If I wasn't doing it on camera, I could have done it a lot quicker than this, but and boom. There's the other one. Okay. And as you can see, no, they're on there solid. There's no need for twisting them together. Just get a nice bead on there and get them going. If I could keep it in focus today and get that done. So we'll do the same thing with the other guy. Get this guy on here. Get the flux on there. And get the flux here. And if you wonder why I shake too a little bit, I've cut down on the smoking trying to quit, so it's like I'm going through withdrawals. I'm trying to get rid of the stuff out of my body, which is a good thing. I got my patches. I'm gonna try to stay away from the electronic cigarette because it's the same thing as smoking. Just get it all done in one shot, and then I'll have plenty of model money. And there we go, one side done. Nice and hooked up. Get this guy tacked and on there. It was on there good. And I messed it up. And don't sit too long on your LED, because you could fry your LED from the heat. And there's the second one, all soldered up, just single stranded it to it. And ha 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 ha, you see, I was doing trying to show you guys, and what was the first thing I said I should do is put my shrink tubing on here, otherwise I'll mess it up, and I'd have to unsolder it and resolder it. And guess what happened? Now hopefully there's one. Don't like how that one came out. Still don't like how it came out. Come on. And there's the second one. The second one still, it's a blob that I don't like, and it's on the inside, and I'm going to overheat this and ruin this LED, I know it. There we go. There we go. And that's all heated up and done. So what we're going to do, because I had a lot of heat on that one for too long, a little too long, we're going to turn on the power supply and strip the end of this one and test it just in case. What a horrible day of soldering, huh? Not too bad. Not too bad. One day all the nicotine will be out of my body and I won't be shaky. And see what happens? I put too much heat on there, and I fried that LED. These are mistakes that'll happen. So what I gotta do is I gotta sand another one down, and then we shall be back. See, we show you all the mess ups here too. We don't just cut out the things we goofed up on and then make it look like the model came out perfect, because it's not going to come out perfect every little thing you do. You're going to have to go back and fix some stuff. So let me fix that and then we'll be back in a minute. Okay, now that we fixed our mistake, well, not your mistake, my mistake, for overheating it, the next thing I'm going to do is hit the shrink tubing. And I picked this up a long time ago, the Benzmatic. It's a pen shape 3-in-1. It is a heat gun, a torch, and also could be used for soldering, but the soldering doesn't get hot enough to do what it's got to do. So we'll get this guy lit up. I hate doing this thing. I'm always scared I'm going to blow up. Okay, you can hear it hissing away that it's lit up inside there. I'll let that heat up for a minute. Take it away from my lighter. And then we're going to shrink wrap this. I don't have a heat gun. I don't feel like keeping bigger tools in the apartment, so we'll go with what's small and easier to keep on hand until one day, hopefully, we get a house. So we got our shrinky dink tubing over here, which I picked this up from Voodoo Effects, which is voodooeffects.com. You can buy it by the foot. I like this one. It shrinks nice and tight and doesn't take that much heat. If you need circuit boards or wall adapters or the female jack for the plug, Randy over at Voodoo Effects has everything. Lighting kits for a lot of models. So check out his site and what he's got. I see a little thing flashing on my camera, so that means I'm running low. Running low. Yeah, just saying that reminds me of the honeymooners when Norton's taking Ralph's temperature. 111. Now I might have to put the honeymooners on in the background while I'm working on this guy today. So that's all that's to that. Nice and protected from touching each other and shorting each other out. Shut that off, put it on the side, let it cool, this way you don't burn yourself. And then the most important thing is click on your power source and pray to God that while this is on video, I did not mess up another one and it lights up. Yay! There we go. There's one tested. And let's test the other one, just to make sure. I'm hiding the other one from you just in case I messed up. All on the floor. And there's the other one, all nice and lit. So now my plan is these two are going to go into, because one wasn't lighting up the one side. So these two, where is the piece? What did I do with the darn piece? Oh, here it is. These two are gonna go into this hole here because, as you can see, it's not that deep. I gotta hold it down, and then tulip will go all around that to block that out, and then we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with the underneath of it. It may end up having a nice little glow under there like Boyd did with his model. So let's take a little break. I'll get this all situated and we'll be right back. Okay, well, we didn't get as much done today as we wanted to get done. Unfortunately, my little guy called home from school and he wasn't feeling well, so we went to the doctor and he had strep throat. But got him some medicine and he'll be better in a couple days. But what we did get done was we got her all buttoned up and our fiber optics are sticking out of our nav lights. For our nav lights, this has our diffusion in there. We got our lights in there. I started puttying up all the gaps. There's a lot of gaps on here that has to be done. So we got our wire in here and we'll click this on for a second. I don't have anything on the nav lights though, because those still have to get their LEDs hooked up, and those will be hooked up in the main body. So the down here is a lot brighter than what it actually looks like in person, and it is green in person. A nice light green, and that'll look nice when it's done. The front lights are all in there. The side light. And oh geez Louise, there it goes. Shot down even before it had its maiden voyage. Thank God it's not painted or anything. And there it is. That's that. Still a lot of work to be done around the edges. Get that all cleaned up. I started the front. That'll all get bondoed up and filled in. Now, as you can see, there's a slight glow under there. And watching Boyd's video, he left his, and it looked pretty cool. And I understand now why he left his like that, because it's really hard to get that light blocked. I mean, really hard. So I'm still gonna try to light block it. If I can't, it's really not that bad. It does look pretty cool that it's like something under there. I don't know what would be under there, but something's under there with a pretty cool glow. So that's what's going on with that. And here's the little guy with strep throat coming to check out what's going on. And tomorrow we'll get more Bondo on there, get that totally sealed, and get it put on the ship itself. So let me zoom out and bring you around to me. And oh, I forgot some lights. And my little guy's sticking his head in there. Hey, come on, you want to sit down?
No.
You just want to stick your head in there and say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching the video. We hope you all start subscribing that haven't subscribed. This way you can keep in touch with what's going on. And here comes the little guy. He keeps being goofy. He wants to stick his head in there and mess around on the YouTube video and block my face. But thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully we'll have another update on this guy tomorrow, all puttied up and put on to the ship itself. So I hope you all have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Bye everybody.